Hey, good morning. Good morning, everybody. My name is Cheryl Leanza, and I have been a member of IFFP since 2003. So that's 20 years now with my husband, Jeremy, and my two kids who have not been here for 20 years yet. So, and I help shepherd the racial justice Tikkun Olam group. And I'm here to talk to you today. And the first thing I actually wanted to do was talk a little bit about where we are at with the racial justice Tikkun Olam group, because as we all know, during the pandemic, our community has moved to trying to keep each other safe from this terrible disease and coming together online and trying to figure out how to do things hybrid and keep everybody's energy going at this time when we're all really, trying to husband our resources and think about how to go forward. And so we're still working, but it's been a little bit less. Some of you also may remember that Heidi Friedman was for a long time co-leading this work with me, but her family didn't come back to IFFP this year. So it's a little bit of a hit for me, at least. So we're here, but I wanted to invite you all to participate. And, there is no one right way to do this. And, I'm a white, straight, cisgendered woman. And so I don't have any particular expertise. I maybe gone to a couple of classes, but we welcome all the views. We welcome different people coming in, whether you have 5 minutes or 2 hours, or you want to just help with one gathering. We really welcome you. We welcome you all. And, we can make the road by walking here at IFFP. And so I welcome you to do that. So why are we working at racial justice at IFFP? Why am I inviting you to do this? And of course, one reason is that I think both of our faith traditions that we observe here think about and strongly instruct us to make the world a more just and equitable place. But I also want to think about something that's maybe a little bit more personal and direct for our community, because we want our community to thrive and to be successful and to welcome new members. And I wonder if you're a new family thinking of coming in, or a family who's been here forever, and you don't see your faith community actively working to validate your full humanity, not only here, but in the world, maybe you're not 100% comfortable. Maybe you're just holding back a little bit. Maybe even if you're part of the majority, and many of us have intersectional identities, partially in a more part of the dominant culture, partially not, maybe you don't really feel quite so comfortable. And if we're not quite so comfortable, if we're not willing to talk and engage, how can we be a fully vibrant spiritual community if people are still not sure? So I want us to live into that amazing welcoming statement we have on our website. And I invite you to work on it collaboratively. And so as we're thinking about that, I promised some wisdom from somebody today who we had up here earlier. Her name is Reverend Angel Kyodo Williams. She's Black, she's queer, she's a Zen priest. She's received ordination very high in the Zen Buddhist tradition. She's very well respected, and she is bringing meditation and contemplation to the pursuit of racial justice, and also centering racial justice in the Buddhist community. And I heard this great interview where she talked about her queer identity as a really important part of her work on racial justice. At the time when she was a young adult, the word queer was being moved from an insult to a proud badge of honor, a way to claim your identity. And the people in her community were talking about how queer was a good word because it included everything. You didn't have to be in one box or the another. You didn't have to be just straight or gay or lesbian. It had this very expansive meaning. And she said that because of this work, no part of her identity, she realized, diminished any other part of her identity. Now, Reverend Angel was raised Baptist. She spent time as Episcopalian. She became a Zen priest. She spent her whole life as a Black woman and a queer person, but she found that queerness gave her this language, she said, for everything she knows about liberation and freedom, because it was so expansive. And it struck me, no part of her identity diminished any other part. And it struck me because we at IFFP know a lot about taking parts of our identity that many people want to put into different camps. But we nonetheless embrace it all. We're in interfaith relationships, interfaith family, we're in interfaith community. Many of us are interracial families, queer families, families that we are creating by our own design in love to fulfill our deepest longings and deepest sense of ourselves. So we've learned to love individually and collectively across differences that many people still do not quite find acceptable, and particularly don't find it acceptable if faith is an important part of your identity. Whoa. So we know something about celebrating this inclusive whole, and also about living with discomfort, even though we've made that whole decision, that inclusivity decision. And this is where Reverend Angel has more to teach us. She talks about what to do in that uncomfortable place, because talking about race in the United States is darn hard. Maybe depending on who we are, maybe we feel guilty, maybe we're afraid we're going to say the wrong thing, we won't want to be told we're racist when we feel like we're really just a good person. We all want to turn away, it just feels so bad, what could I do? Maybe for others, we're just so tired of having to explain what it's like to walk around in the world being who we are. Maybe we're wondering, why hasn't anybody checked in on me given what's going on in the world and they know who I am? Gosh, this stuff is uncomfortable, it's hard, can be awkward. But Reverend Angel, she asks us, what if we could reorient away from our instinct to shy away from the hurt and the discomfort? She says, actually, the teachers that lead us to peace in our heart are really these people and situations, day to day, minute by minute, month to month, that make us uncomfortable, that make us feel awkward. What if we saw that moment of awkward discomfort as an opportunity for self-reflection and learning? What if we could be both and, not either or? What if it wasn't comfort or discomfort? What if it was both? What if I am both bone tired of living in a culture that rejects some of us as fully human and fully belonging, and also willing to set aside 10 minutes or an hour to learn more about our history? What if I am both deeply uncomfortable and guilty, and also wondering about others, willing to walk alongside and willing to take action? So you don't need to wall away that bad feeling in the pit of your stomach. You can learn from it. Now, Reverend Angel is a Zen practitioner. She uses meditation. We could use that. Or if we don't want to meditate, we could think, we could talk about it. What does it mean that that feeling is so awful? We in IFFP have spent a lot of time in uncomfortable spaces in pursuit of love and the families that mean so much to us. So we actually do know how to start. And we do know that with persistence, our skills increase, the bad feelings become a little less, our resilience becomes a little stronger. We know what to say, maybe not the first time, maybe not the second time. Will we ever have it perfectly? No, but we get better at it. We learn from each other. We can act, as the reading said today, as a repairer of the breach. We can bridge that gap. We can act, as if the second reading said, as if the person next to you is the Messiah. Now, in this community, we don't know if that's the first or the second coming, but we can think that way. We can act as if the person next to us is a sacred being, a divine human, walking the earth alongside us. And I assure you that they are. And no amount of discomfort should stop us from walking with them. Thank you.